Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
She breaks it off, and the very issues that she has with you, you reinforce those issues by moving back home because you know you're the golden child. In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. Stop. Is that true? I don't want you to understand. I want you to overstand.
Yes, sir.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. That's not gonna happen. Not up in here, not today. And boom goes the dynamite.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Marianne and Richard Thompson claim their adult son needs to move out after he threw a party that trashed their house and broke a lamp worth thousands of dollars.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
The co-plaintiffs are suing Kevin Thompson in the amount of $8,500.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas.
All right, so we have the Thompson family here. Mom and dad are suing the son. Kevin, I like the name, so we're off to a good start there. But your parents want $8,500 from you, and you're saying, I don't think so, not today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Mom, let's start with you. Tell me about your son.
He was our miracle baby.
Okay. So when you say he's our miracle baby, what went awry?
So we've always enabled him because he was our miracle baby.
Okay, so stop. You said you used the word enable.
Enabled, yes.
So you think you're enabling him?
Indeed.
Have other people in your circle, loved ones, people you're having conversations about Kevin, have they also said you all are babying him too much?
They have, and his ex-girlfriend called him a mama's boy. That's why she broke up with him.
Is he a mama's boy?
Indeed, he is.
Okay. Are you a mama's boy?
I would say I like to care for both of my parents, but I do love my mom, so.
Okay, but you had a girlfriend. What was the girlfriend's name?
Lucy.
Lucy. Lucy, you two were together for how long?
5 years. She was the love of my life.
All right. And she broke up with you?
Yeah, she did.
And why did she break up with you?
She felt like I spent too much time with my parents.
Were you spending too much time with your parents?
I felt like, yeah, they always wanted me around, so I did spend a healthy amount of time with my parents, but I did spend a healthy amount of time with Lucy, but it just wasn't enough for her, so.
Okay. And so after the breakup, because from what I understand, you all, based on the complaint, you pretty much gave him all he needed and wanted.
Well, we wanted him to have a good start. We wanted him to get his life on the right track early without being burdened with debt and the like.
You made this reference to him being a miracle baby. What's that about, Mr. Thompson?
Well, the doctor said that we couldn't have children. We tried, and that's what we were to understand from the doctors. But then Kevin came. He was born, and he meant the world to us. So we call him our miracle baby or our golden child.
Do you use that term often?
I beg your pardon?
Do you use that term often?
Yes, and I also say golden child.
He's heard you all use that term, miracle baby.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yes.
And you know you're the miracle baby.
Yeah, I would say so. It's funny that they say I'm a miracle baby because now they miraculously want me to disappear. So I don't
What do you mean
like
they want you to disappear?
They want me out of their house. They don't want me around anymore. So I don't feel like a miracle baby, you know? I feel like the unwanted stepchild.
Well, how old are you now?
I'm 30 years old.
You're 30 years old, and you're still at home.
Life's tough.
Life's tough. What's causing it to be so tough for you?
Well, after I graduated, I did have a job in insurance.
And when you had that job, were you still living at home?
No, I was living with Lucy at the time.
Oh, you and Lucy lived together?
Yes, we did. So after I graduated, I spent a little bit of time at home, and then I met Lucy, and we spent a lot of time together. During that time, I ended up getting a job in insurance.
Okay.
And
on and off, that is.
What do you mean, Dad?
He wasn't consistently working. He would call us, and we'd have to fill in, and I'd have to pay some of his bills, his car insurance, medical bills.
You use the term, you have to pay. Why did you have to do it?
Didn't have to.
Well, I didn't have to.
Well, hold on. But how would they even know that you had these bills unless you were telling them?
I would tell them about how life's going. I tell them, yeah, I got to pay this bill and this bill. And of course, mom and dad are always trying to come to the rescue.
Wait, I thought you were the unwanted stepchild.
Well, I feel like that now.
Okay.
I didn't always
Who's paying
feel
the
like
bills for you now?
We are. It's something that he's become accustomed to.
I'm just trying to understand, where does that stepchild reference come from if they're still paying for you?
So what happened was, after I lost my job in insurance, I ended up picking up a job just doing DoorDash, making about $40 a day. So it made it a little bit harder for me
You were still with Lucy at this point?
No, this was after she broke up with me.
He was back home.
So she broke up
After she breaks up with you, so this was her place?
So, yes.
Coming up on America's Court.
For years, we've been supplementing his lifestyle. And I don't know what he does with what little money he is making, but it wasn't enough. And we've given him enough years to get himself together. I'm sick and tired of it.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Marianne and Richard Thompson, who are suing their son, Kevin Thompson, for property damage.
Okay, so you went from parents to someone else assuming somewhat of a maternal role with you.
It was, we
Yes.
were both splitting the rent. So it was mutual. We were
And
splitting
you were
the rent.
making your financial obligations, or were you being supplemented
No,
by the horrible parents?
Listen, I was making my financial obligations for the rent. There were other bills that they had took on prior to me getting into a relationship with Lucy, where they paid my phone bill and they paid my car insurance and stuff. And they just
medical bills?
And medical bills.
Medical insurance?
They continue to pay those bills. And
how old are you at this point?
I was 27, 28.
Okay.
Your Honor, could I
Yes.
would call us almost monthly with a sob story about how, he's short on change, or someone let him go unfairly and he's still looking.
But Your Honor, I never
Don't interrupt
asked-
your father. Let him talk.
So for years, we've been supplementing his lifestyle. And I don't know what he does with what little money he is making, but it wasn't enough. And we've given him enough years to get himself together. I'm sick and tired of it.
All right. Well,
He's gonna have to man up.
then cut him off.
Beg your pardon?
Cut him off.
We're doing that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he still living at home?
He's
Yes,
still
he
there.
is. Well, we're giving him the opportunity to get himself together, especially with this case here. Once we find out what's going on with this case, then
You
we're
didn't
going to kick
need
him
me
out.
to start packing boxes.
Well, I think he needs to, because the other day, I was just livid. He threw a party, okay? He threw a party. He had 30 people at the house, okay? By the time they were done, me and my wife, we get up the next morning, the upstairs, the downstairs, the pool area, everything was a mess. We have cigarette butts, we had
Stains
beer
in the carpet.
cans, stains in the carpet.
Mind you, he had no permission to throw this party.
Right. And
any particular reason why boxes weren't being ordered and sent to the home for him to pack his stuff at that point?
well, at that point, we said, okay, I told him, I said, son, I'm going to give you 1 year to get your act together.
Has it been a year?
And you
Has
know
it
what he
been a year?
did? Well, it has been a year. And what happened was on
So
his
then
30th birthday.
your date and your deadline meant nothing if a year went by and he's still there.
Well, when we got to the year point on his birthday, we had a dinner with him. And I
He
said,
cooked us dinner with our own food for
Right.
his birthday.
and honey, tell him what happened at dinner.
So at dinner, I had high hopes. I thought he was going to tell us that, okay, I'm going to be moving out soon. But no, he sat there with a smile on his face and told us that he's giving us the opportunity and giving us the permission to carry him for the rest of his life. Mind you, at the party that he threw, we went to Paris and brought a lamp, and he destroyed the lamp. I came downstairs, the lamp was in pieces, and I have the repair bill for the lamp.
Take everything you want to get.
Okay, and this is going to be for how the house looked after he threw the party. Just know.
Out of all the monies that you've spent This is the thing that you want to be repaid. Oh my God.
Exactly, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He trashed the house.
Trashed.
Your Honor, I did tell.
And his friends come over constantly, just.
What is this about the code enforcement?
Okay, so he was making so much noise with his friends at this party, he violated the city's noise ordinance. And we got a $1,500 ticket for violating the noise ordinance.
Who paid it?
We did. And before that, they gave us a warning because he plays his drums late at night.
Who paid for the cleaning invoice for all the stains
We
in the
did.
carpet? Furniture was destroyed. Who paid for that?
We did.
What's going
I'm just
on with
fed
you?
up.
So, Your Honor, I did let them know I was having a small get-together. Did it get out of hand? Absolutely.
What's going on with you?
And I feel sorry. I do apologize for the house being the way it was. However, the
What's
noise.
going on with you?
I guess what do you mean by that, Your Honor?
What do you think I mean?
Why haven't I moved out? Is that what you're
We
asking?
can start there.
Life is hard, Your Honor. I've been looking for jobs nonstop.
Has there been a point in life that was easy for you?
No, but
So then you know that life is hard at 30 years old.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's going on with you?
So I've been looking for jobs since I've been laid off from my insurance job, Your Honor. And I just haven't had any luck. Nobody will hire me. I've been down in the dumps since Lucy broke up with me.
Stop.
And
That's what's going on with you. You break up with Lucy because you graduate, you work, you meet a girl, you like this girl, you move in with her. She's like, you know what, you got some issues that you're not dealing with. She tells you, you don't pay attention to what she's saying, she breaks it off, and the very issues that she has with you, you reinforce those issues by moving back home because you know you're the golden child.
they gave me,
You're the golden baby.
Your Honor,
You're the miracle baby.
Coming up on America's Court.
they just start leaving things around the house and they started treating me more like a maid versus their son. They didn't clean up after themselves. They didn't really care. So it's like,
So move.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Marianne and Richard Thompson, who are suing their son, Kevin Thompson, for property damage.
The problem is you're a man. You're a man who's the miracle baby. You're a man baby.
Your Honor,
You're a maybe.
They've painted that picture.
You're a
for me.
maybe.
A maybe.
And that was some tough love, Mom and Dad. But I think you all recognize that he's probably dealing with some depression issues.
Yeah, he self-medicates with marijuana.
Your Honor.
Is that true?
Your Honor,
Is that true?
I get it from my dad.
Well, depression does run in our family.
Wait, you said you get what from your dad?
The marijuana.
Do you use
That's
marijuana?
not true, Your Honor.
Do you use marijuana, sir?
I have used it for my asthma.
Okay.
And it was prescribed to me.
I heard you say depression runs in the family.
Yes, it does.
In whose family?
On my side of the family, I
Do you
have
deal
some-
with depression issues?
I have dealt with some minor issues,
They've
but my
never
father
talked to me about
did have
that.
some depression.
He's never confronted me about that.
Your
issue.
father dealt with depression issues. You
Yes.
deal with it periodically, and yet the two of you have not had
We've
a
never had that
conversation
conversation about it.
the fact that
Right.
that's something that maybe you both could help each other out with.
No.
You know, my diagnosis was diagnosed as being a minor issue, and it wasn't considered something that was going to be life-altering. And I
Mom,
didn't
did you
think,
know that your husband had dealt with depression issues?
I did, and there's some spells and bouts. He works through it, you know, and I did see some signs in our son with all the medical insurance that we pay for. I would think that he would go to a therapist to get an actual diagnosis, to
Dad,
get
have
help
you
and get
said
coping skills.
you need to go to therapy?
No, he did not.
Dad, do you go to therapy?
no, not anymore. This was decades ago for me.
Your Honor, they also failed to mention that after the breakup, when I moved back in with them, I did talk to them and I said, hey, you know, I appreciate you letting me move back in the house. And things were good for a little while. I was doing chores, I was taking them to run errands, I was paying utility bills. It wasn't until about 2 years of living with them where my attitude started to change. And it was because they just started leaving things around the house and they started treating me more like a maid versus their son. They didn't clean up after themselves. They didn't really care. So it's like,
So move.
Coming up on America's Court.
The lamp cost $8,500. Why do you feel as though you're not responsible for that amount of money, sir?
Your Honor, one, who spends $5,000 on a lamp?
That's irrelevant. It's their money. They can spend it however they want.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Marianne and Richard Thompson, who are suing their son, Kevin Thompson, for property damage.
Pack up some boxes and tell him it's time to go.
We will.
We will. I think it's definitely past time.
When?
Today.
Okay. How long does he have?
We'll
2
give him-
weeks.
Yeah,
2
okay.
weeks.
2 weeks is good.
It's
'cause
time.
It's time for him to man
And after
up.
2 weeks, what happens? What happens if he doesn't have a place?
He's out. He'll have to go back
On the
to
street?
Lucy or do what he.
Are you prepared to go there with him?
It's going to be hard, but there needs to be some changes.
All right, so we're here because of this lamp. The lamp cost $8,500. Why do you feel as though you're not responsible for that amount of money, sir?
Your Honor, one, who spends $5,000 on a lamp?
That's irrelevant. It's their money. They can spend it however they want. Why are you not responsible if the lamp was
I didn't
broken
break
while
the
you
lamp.
had the party?
I didn't break the lamp.
Was the lamp in operating and functional condition prior to the party?
Yeah, I would say, I guess it was.
After the party, can you say that?
No, I can't say it was.
Anything else?
There were
Mr. and
cleaning
Mrs. Thompson?
fees.
Okay, but you're not suing for that, are you?
Yes, the lamp was $5,000.
Oh, the lamp was $5,000.
Yes.
And then the cleaning fees,
Was $1,200.
$1,200.
Some chairs that were broken were $800.
That was the $800. So we're at,
Violation of the noise ordinance ticket.
$1,500.
$1,500.
okay. That gets us to the $8,500.
Yes, sir.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel is going to come down in favor of the plaintiffs in this case.
Yes.
We're all doing you a favor, Kevin. It may not feel like it. Dad, it could not hurt if you yourself considered going to therapy. I don't think that would necessarily be a bad thing. But it's time to say enough is enough. Judgment in favor of the plaintiffs. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the co-plaintiffs. The defendant has been ordered to pay $8,500.
I love him, but he just needs to get his act together and man up, stand up, and grow up.
A man who doesn't work does not eat.
At the end of the day, they're going to get old and they're going to need somebody to take care of them.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.